Let's bring in Preston Johnson. What do you make of this move off 3 to 3.5, Preston?
So I don't think it's as significant as you would typically see a 3 to 3.5. Like most of the juiced threes across the sports books, like minus 125 range. So to go from 3 minus 125 to a flat 3.5 most spots now, it's not much of a move. It is a slight one, but it's another reason why I still wouldn't count out Kansas City going to 3.5 either, because those threes are starting to get juiced to where it's more like a 3.25. And that's what we saw here with Green Bay. Now, I was secretly kind of hoping that we would see something similar to last Sunday when Tampa Bay was bet, and this was significant. They were a flat +3 bet to 2.5 Sunday morning against the Saints. I kind of wanted to see that again. I was hoping the threes would stay and Green Bay would become cheap at 3.5. I think it's really close to fair. I don't know if we're going to actually see a cheap spot now to back Aaron Rodgers. And I've tried to make arguments for both ways. Like, hey, Tom Brady in the cold weather, he'll be fine. When it's all said and done, this Lambeau home field advantage, it's 12% better historically than the next best home field playoff advantage that there is. It's going to be tough. Wow. I think the move's correct. I think it should be around 3.5, and I'd be surprised if this went back down.
Yeah, I would be too, because it's Brady got steam last week, but he's going against a guy who usually gets steam. So it looks like I was on the Packers all week at 3. I don't love it as much at 3.5. Obviously, I still think the Packers take care of business. What about you?
Right there with you on that. This is Tampa Bay's 5th road game in 6 weeks. I don't think we're making enough of that. That's a lot of travel in a 6-week stretch going to Lambeau to take on a team in Green Bay that's been very well rested courtesy of the bye. Take a look at that. You're not playing the who's who of the NFL, but the travel is still going to wear on you at some point, one way or another. Oh, we haven't even mentioned this either. Green Bay 8-1 straight up, 6-3 against the spread at home this year, winning by an average of 12 points per game. I'm looking down at that note. There are so many ways we've sliced and diced this, but some of the obvious stuff that stands out, how good they've been at home, how Tampa Bay's in a tougher spot. We haven't put enough emphasis on it, in my opinion. And I think with Antonio Brown down, good luck getting that offense to fire on all cylinders. They'll be able to run the ball, in my opinion, but I don't know if they can keep pace if it gets into a shootout.
Yeah, I would want no part of the Bucs in this situation. Let's bring in Stanford Steve. Steve, we chatted yesterday. You like the Packers? Now what about with the line move to 3.5?
I still like them, Doug. I mentioned yesterday, I love the position at the end that they got embarrassed, last time they played earlier this season. I love the weather conditions in favor of Green Bay, and I love the balance of the offense of Green Bay. I also really like this spot for Green Bay's defense. Now, remember last year at San Francisco, this unit got obliterated. They were embarrassed in the biggest stage they played on all season. So I really expect Mike Pettin and that Packers defense to have a more prepared scheme, and they're going to play better. They have to play better than they did last year. I expect them to do that at home. You mentioned Antonio Brown is out. That helps. And I think Green Bay is matched up pretty well in the secondary. And obviously up front, it's a big game. If Green Bay gets a lead, Tampa's not going to try and run the ball. It'll be worthless. So big spot for Green Bay's defense. I expect them to play well here.
Yeah, and we got a Florida team coming up north, too. Now, it's only going to be 29 degrees, not exactly the frozen tundra, but still worth mentioning. Aside from Brady, that is a factor for a lot of these players who don't have a ton of history. Anita certainly knows what it's like to be in Florida and go up to chilly weather as we bring Anita Marks in. All right, Packers line up to 3.5 now. Any different ways you can approach this one?
Yeah, I don't like the hook, right? I mean, listen, we've all seen the movie Any Given Sunday, and God forbid that back-end covers with the Tampa Bay Bucs. So I'm going to play this a lot of different ways. I think that the Green Bay Packers are going to be passing the ball a lot. As we know, the Bucs defense better against the run, against the pass. So I'm going to be looking at a lot of players to score touchdowns along with Green Bay winning. Gentlemen, let's show the graphic, because you know me. You call me the props queen for a reason, Doug. All right, so Devontae Adams scores a touchdown, Green Bay wins. Look at these odds. All of this is plus money. You've got a Bucs team. They play a cover 3 zone. That is Devontae Adams' wheelhouse, right? Aaron Jones. Now, listen, I do believe that he's going to be a big part of the passing attack. And the Tampa Bay Bucs have given up the most receptions to opposing running backs this season. What about Robert Tonyan? This guy has been a touchdown machine. 11 touchdowns on the season, 63 targets, and he's caught 56 of 63. Lazard, 8 targets last week. Again, you could pass against the Bucs. And what about MVS? Boy, those explosive plays. The Bucs have allowed 9 touchdowns to passes that have been thrown 15 yards or more. That is MVS's wheelhouse. So that's how I'm going to play this. A lot of Green Bay Packer players touchdowns along with the win, and give it to me with that plus money, Doug.
All right, so a pretty aggressive approach. Hopefully no 6-3 game. If you don't want a 6-3 game, that would be bad, but you want to spread it out as well.
No.
I think all of us are expecting the Packers to find the end zone a few times as well.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.